Hi everyone, this is Dakota McLean. Here's your tip of the week. As you saw by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about how to have the lower body rotate and not swaying. This is one of the most common things that we see when we're out there on the golf course, when we're teaching others. Is we see a lot of swaying motion going into your golf swing. It's kind of like you're trying to help your body swing into the ball, which is not necessarily what you would want to do. There's a couple reasons why you would want that to happen. We're going to use that to try and improve your swing and allow your lower body to rotate more. So that way, one, it can increase power, it can increase speed, and then it also can help you with ball contact. Those are the three really more important things that you want to be concerned about when you're out there playing. If you're just using the swaying motion, it is actually just going to reduce how much speed and also the ball contact and the power you have into connecting with the golf ball. So we're going to jump right into it, starting with the rotation of the hips. I'm going to show you some tips as well on how to improve that. It's a really good video for you guys to watch. I think you guys are going to really like this one. So let's jump into it. So as I was stating before, we're going to be talking about hip rotation and not swaying. So I'm going to give you an idea of what it looks like when you're swaying and what the difference is when it comes to rotating. So let's just say I'm setting up to the ball right here, so that way you have perfect view so you can see me from face on. When I'm setting up to the ball, what a swaying motion looks like is that when you take your back swing, what happens is that all of your weight, since I'm right-handed, is generating to my right side. As you can see, when I'm generating this way, and when I follow through, it's actually coming back this way. Now what that does is that it actually moves the ball position. The ball position is moving in your stance. I like to compare it to like having a ball on string. So imagine that ball is moving on a piece of string. It's very hard to hit. It's very similar to what this is right here. If I'm doing this right now, if I'm swaying back this way, that ball is generating this way. When I sway back into it, it's right here. And you have to have perfect contact, and your head has to be over top of the golf ball right when you make contact with the ball. So if I'm setting up, I'll show you what that motion looks like when I take my swing. If I'm swaying, I'm just coming straight back. What it does is that it actually can allow you to either blade it or chunk it. Just the contact is not always there. So what we're trying to do is when I set up to the ball, I'm trying to actually feel my body rotate, making it feel like my right pocket is going back this way. It's going back around. So it feels like it's going to be pointing towards the target almost. So if I'm setting up, I'm going right here, I'm trying to rotate, and what do you notice is that my head is still over top of the golf ball. When I was swaying before, when I went this way, my head is actually behind the golf ball. And that's not what we want. We want to try and make sure our head is over top of the golf ball at all times. So when I'm setting up, I'm rotating. And then when I follow through, my head is still staying over top of the golf ball. My hips are rotating. They're doing all of the motion. A lot of people are very limited on their lower body rotation just because they haven't used it, or maybe there's some surgeries that you've had. So trying to get your lower body involved is going to be a little bit harder for those that have not used it before, and it's going to cause a little bit more mishits. It's kind of like it's getting into a new swing, but the only thing that's changing is your lower body rotating. So when I'm rotating, I'm trying to set up, ball's right in the middle of my stance, and I'm rotating, following through, my head is staying over top of the golf ball the entire time. So it should look something like this. Ball's in the middle of my stance, and I'm trying to rotate my lower body. And you should have always consistent contact at that point. Then you're able to dial in your game a little bit more, okay? So when you're doing that, just try and make sure that that ball's in the middle of your stance, rotating, feeling like your belt buckle is pointing away from the target, right hip is pointing, or your left pocket, or your right pocket on your back pockets is pointing towards the target. You're trying to feel that lower body rotate so that way you can get good contact. Okay, so I'll do it one more time for you. Having that ball in the middle of my stance. I'm just trying to feel my lower body rotate. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a couple other tips that can allow you to help you see what it looks like, how to improve your game a little bit more. So a couple of tips that I like to use when I'm out there on the range, when I'm trying to practice, trying to get my body to be a little bit more quieter, which is meaning like you're not doing an exaggerated movement, is I like to put the ball in the middle of my stance, right between my feet, so that way I know exactly where that ball position is, and then I'm able to try and keep my hands in line with it, and then try to make sure that I'm staying over top of that ball the entire time. As much as it is just a couple feet away from you, it is a good way for you to practice so that way you're able to see where this is. Now, another thing that I like to do is whenever I'm swaying too much, I notice that my feet are a little bit too wide. So if my feet are too wide, what I can notice is that I can actually sway to the right and the left a little easy. But if I bring my feet super close together, if I try doing that, I'll fall over. It's just I fall over if I'm swaying left and right. So I try to take half swings, because if you take a full swing, sometimes you will lose balance, but I put my feet close together, just trying to feel my lower body rotate more. Just feeling that lower body rotate, so that way I'm staying balanced, trying to keep my head over top of the golf ball. Okay, so that's a really good tip to use, just trying to keep, and then you could just widen your feet a little bit more until you get to the point where you're in your normal stance. And then that's going to improve your rotation and your stance a little bit more, and your weight balance. So, like I said, that is one of the most common things that we see when it comes to the golf swing. Why you're not hitting it consistently, it's because you may be swaying, not rotating your lower body. And like I said, it brings in a lot of power and speed, because you're rotating and you're using a lot of that force. It's kind of like an elastic band. When you're right here and your hips go, and your arms are coming with it. So your hips are going to allow you to get a little bit more power into your golf swing. That's all the time that we have for this week. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Call the golf shop and we'll be able to help you out. Get a lesson. It doesn't hurt to have somebody look at your swing. I hope everybody has enjoyed this video, and I'll see everyone next week.